Welcome to the Basics for Virtual Assistants podcast, your go-to destination for all things virtual assistant. I'm your host, Paul, and just 4 short years ago, I took that leap into the world of virtual assistants, and I've never looked back. Now it's my turn to help you take the same exciting path. Are you wanting to become a VA but no idea where to start, lost with how to price yourself or set yourself up for success? Well, look no further. As we explore this world together, I'll be sharing my experiences, insights, and all the valuable lessons I've learned along the way. So, get ready to explore the world of virtual assistants, uncover its limitless potential, and let me guide you on the path to becoming a successful virtual assistant. Your transformation into a skilled VA starts right here, right now. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen that my life has once again become being a taxi for my kiddos so they can play in their many winter sports. And you know what? I'm actually loving it. In saying that, if you ask me in September if I'm still loving it, I'm sure I will have a very different answer. But right now, I am loving spending that little bit of extra time in the car with my kids. I just feel like they love to chat when they're not looking straight at you. So, any other mums out there feel that? Let's get into today's episode. Now, today's episode is how to find clients as a virtual assistant. Now, firstly, before we get into the episode, you need to know who your ideal client is. If you have listened to any of my episodes, I'm sure you are getting sick of hearing this, but knowing who your ideal client is helps you to be more intentional with finding clients. I have a whole episode on this, on finding your ideal client, So I would recommend listening to that episode first and working out exactly who your ideal client is. Knowing who your ideal client is just helps you to really hone in and be intentional with where you are looking for clients and how you are looking for clients, how you're connecting with them. So I just think it's super important to know who your ideal client is first. So go and check that out. The first thing you need to know about finding clients is that not all clients are on the one platform. Not all clients are on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, LinkedIn. Lots of clients are in very specific places for their area of. I want you to take the time and consider where your clients might be. For me, my ideal client is a woman who works in an education-based business and is or has been a teacher. So for me, the majority of my clients are on Instagram and are in very specific niche Facebook groups that are very specific to that type of client. So I know after working out who my ideal client is, that is the number one place that I'm going to find my clients hanging out in the social media world. You need to understand that many clients will not be on social media as a business. For example, they won't have an Instagram page, they won't have a TikTok, but what they will have and where you will find them is on Facebook, in Facebook groups very specific to their area, where they are looking for help, where they are looking for guidance, where they are connecting with other people in their business. This is the same for LinkedIn. You'll find many people are on LinkedIn who do not use other social media platforms specifically for business. Okay, in saying that, they might not have a business on that social media platform, but they may still be using that social media platform for personal use, and they may find your business through that way. But I want you to really think about the most common place that your ideal client is going to be. Once you know where they are, once you have figured out where on social media they are, whether that is Facebook groups, Instagram, LinkedIn, whether they're using Pinterest, wherever they are, wherever your ideal client is, once you know that, you need to consider the best way to reach them on that platform. For example, if your ideal client is on Instagram and you think that they're going to be searching for your type of expertise on Instagram, then you want to be creating Instagram content, educational posts that are going to be sharing with them your expertise and how you can help them. Okay. For me, as I've said, majority of my ideal clients are in Facebook groups specific to that area. And so for me specifically, when I'm looking for clients, the best course of action for me is to be in these Facebook groups, sharing my expertise in the comments, sharing my knowledge. If they're asking questions, then I'm answering from a virtual assistant perspective on, oh, you could do X, Y, Z to fix that problem. Or maybe you need to be doing X, Y, Z. Okay, you want to be nurturing them. You want to be sharing with them little tips on how they can be better in their business, how they can do the things that you could do for them on a smaller scale. This is how I found lots of clients, especially in Facebook groups, but across Instagram. My very first client, I followed her on Instagram and I saw every single day that she was posting about how she was struggling with getting on top of her emails. Every single day, she was like, if you sent me an email, I'll get back to you. Like, I'm just a little bit behind. If you sent me an email, I'll get back to you. I'm a little bit behind. And so I could already see from following her on social media how she was struggling. I reached out to her, let her know exactly how I could support her with this. And I was working with her very quickly after that. Another client of mine, I saw posted regularly in the Facebook group that I was in, and she was saying how she really wanted to do a specific thing in her business, but she didn't know how, and she was a little bit struggling, and she didn't really have the time to do it. And after answering her questions on there and sharing with her some tips and tricks, I actually reached out to her via email and said, look, I could do it for you. And we started working together. So I want you to be using these spaces that your clients are in as a way to really, one, make yourself an expert in your field. Show them in these Facebook groups, in these Instagram posts, wherever you are, in your TikTok videos, how you can support them. Show them that you have the skills and you know how to be supporting them. And then later, after you've shown them your expertise and after you've shown them, you've assisted them without any expectations, then you can go and connect with them. Okay. I have this client and she shares all the time with me how we should be doing 80% sharing and 20% selling when it comes to customers or clients. And I stand by this even as a virtual assistant. You want to be in these Facebook groups, you want to be sharing, 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 sharing. In Instagram posts, you want to be sharing, 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 sharing in stories, sharing, 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 sharing. And then occasionally, hey, I have this service available. Hey, I have this that I can help you with. Hey, I've noticed that you're struggling with this. This is how I could support you if you wanted that help. I do not want to see you out there all the time going sale, 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 sale. I could do that. I could do that. I could do that. There is nothing more annoying than when you're in a Facebook group and you ask for help and 50 people comment, I can do that for you. I didn't ask you to do it for me. I asked it for advice on how to better do it. Once you've figured out where your ideal clients are and you've started connecting with them in the Facebook groups or in Instagram or wherever, this is a really good time then to take the time to connect with them via email. I want you to go and I want you to write a really beautifully created email that is specific to their business, that shares that you understand where they're struggling, you've had a look at their business, you've seen in the Facebook group or on Instagram or wherever they're having trouble with that, and then share with them how you could support them in that area. Now, I have a free email template. It is available on my Stand store. I will drop the link in the description. But in this email, I go through each of these steps really specifically. Okay, this is where you add in, personal information about their business. This is where you add in what you can support them with. This is how you close off and share with them that like you'd love to hear from them without being pushy or over the top. And that is how I have found all of my virtual assistant clients is finding them in their area, figuring out what they need help with from the content they are sharing, whether it's on Instagram stories, whether it's in Facebook groups, whether it is on TikTok, wherever. When you take the time to find these clients online and actually really have a look at what they're doing and where they could use support, that is the easiest way to reach out to them then and say, hey, I've noticed you need help with this. I can do that. Here is how I could support you with that. So that is how I find clients and the easiest way I have found to find clients. We're not cold DMing people. We are not just sending them emails because we've looked at their business and think it's cool and we like it. We're really taking the time to find people who are looking for that support in whichever area they are. And then we are reaching out to them. And that brings us to the end of another episode. I hope you've enjoyed diving into the fundamentals of the virtual assistant world with me today. If you found value in our discussion and want to connect further, remember you can join our community on Facebook. Just search the basics of virtual assistants and we can continue the conversation there. For more behind the scenes content, tips and updates, you can also find me on Instagram and TikTok. Follow me at the Basics for VAs podcast for bite-sized insight and a glimpse into the VA world. I'm thrilled you tuned in, and if you have any questions or specific topics you'd like us to cover in future episodes, feel free to drop a message. Your feedback is invaluable. Until next time, keep thriving in your virtual assistant realm, and I'll catch you in the next episode.